Listen up, get ready, I'm not gonna take no more. There's a revolution, a revelation going on in my soul. Buckle up, get ready, we're not gonna sit back.
Okay, all you citizens of the world, time to get near the end of the show. We're going to bring on my cousin Adam James, who played football at Northwestern. We've talked a lot about that and the tearing down of Dyke Stadium in the past. Today, we're going to get a little bit on the Grammys, on the Super Bowl, and any politics that he wants to connect to that. Hello, Adam.
Hello, everybody. It's great to see you, Michael. Thank you so much for having me on live from the Heartland.
Out there in California. So what do you got?
Well, of course, the Grammys happened over the weekend. A great show, amazing events. I know you touched on a couple of those topics earlier. I wanted to mention, part of my work in the media entertainment field is I also represent the Latin Grammys, and I work with the media company that produces the program book. So I've had the honor to work with some of the great music companies and performers. Last night's show was terrific. One thing I thought was really fascinating is how a lot of the more less centralized formats of music are often misrepresented, misunderstood by the Academy. Even Jay-Z made a joke last night where he said about how a lot of people are in categories they shouldn't be in. And he paused and he goes, "I'm sorry, I tell the truth when I'm nervous." Thought it was really funny. One genre that is continuing to be misunderstood is the hard rock or heavy metal scene. Years ago, they finally created a hard rock metal category and gave the award to Jethro Tull. So it just goes to show how that Academy continues to miss on that topic. We hope that they'll better understand it and better categorize the hard rock heavy metal scene in the future.
How about the Super Bowl?
Yes, in regards to the Super Bowl, that's coming up this weekend. I know when this show airs, it'll be the day before the Super Bowl, so I hope everybody's got all their snacks ready and they're ready for the big game. Should be a really fun game this year. It's two teams that came together, both star-laden, lots of big names on both teams. Mike, you're familiar with, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're the defending Super Bowl champion. They've got that star quarterback, Mahomes, the tight end, who's probably going to go down in history as the greatest tight end in the history of the National Football League. I mean, he's that good. Definite Hall of Famer, setting all kinds of records. And of course, he's dating a singer who was performing at the Grammys just the other night. But there's a guy on the Chiefs who's probably even better than both those guys. I'm a former defensive lineman, so I look for those defensive lineman players, those elite players. There's a guy named Chris Jones. And for those of us who played the line, whether you're offensive or defensive lineman, you'll look for those kind of players who are just elite, like Aaron Donald here in Los Angeles for the Rams. So if you're watching the game, watch out for 95 for the Chiefs. Great, great player. On the other side of the ball, you've got the amazing San Francisco 49ers, one of the great teams of NFL history, 5 championships. They're going for their 6th Super Bowl this year. Lots of star players there. Christian McCaffrey, an amazing running back, possibly the offensive player of the year. They just got so many stars in that team. Deebo Samuel, George Kittles, Trent Williams, the offensive tackle, one of the great offensive linemen in history. But the story that a lot of people are watching is that quarterback. And Michael, you're familiar with his story, how he was the Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
So he went from being the last guy drafted to starting the entire season because of injuries and having an amazing year, then tearing his UCLA and his throwing arm in the championship game last year. To come back off of that surgery and have one of the all-time great seasons for a quarterback. I mean, think about it this way. He just set the record for the all-time stats for the San Francisco 49ers, which if you think about it, they had a quarterback named Steve Young and some other Joe Montana guy. Anyway, so for this guy, Purdy, to be putting up these kind of numbers, it just goes to show he is really, really special, having an amazing year, start to his career. Somebody made the comment to go from Mr. Irrelevant to the Super Bowl champion 2 years later, it would be a pretty remarkable accomplishment. So one last thing I'll share with you about this Super Bowl that I think for those of us who are Raider fans will get a kick out of. The Raiders have 2 main rivals. I mean, there's a lot of teams that hate the Raiders and the Raiders hate them back. But the 2 main teams are the 49ers that shared the Bay Area for so long with the Oakland version of the Raiders. And then the Chiefs. There's just something about red. Whenever the Raiders see red. So this Super Bowl is going to be in the Raiders' new stadium, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. And it's going to have the Chiefs logo on one side and the 49ers logo on the other. Raider fans are going to be going nuts.
Adam, there's a lot of politics going on around this. Kelsey, the end for the Chiefs is going out with Taylor Swift. What do you got on that and all the right wing freak out about it?
Well, yes, clearly there's a relationship going on there, and they're two very famous people. So, we want to give them their space, let them have their private lives, but they are putting it out there a little bit. So people are commenting on it, and Taylor Swift is one who leans a little left. She endorsed some Democratic candidates in her home state of Tennessee, and then did endorse Biden in the last election. So there is a lot of circulation that she very likely will come out and endorse.
He was in an ad and he took heat for it for getting the vaccine.
Correct. Yes, which is amazing that people who are endorsing scientific facts get heat. But yes, he did endorse or promote rather the value of getting vaccinated. And I think that there are some people out there that are going to be angry about a lot of things, and it's unfortunate that he got a lot of heat for that because it's a good cause, encouraging people to get educated on vaccinations and choose to do so if they'd like to.
Well, you got anything else?
So yes, of course, the big question about that relationship is, will she endorse Biden at the Super Bowl? Will they win the Super Bowl? It does add some intrigue. Personally, I'm a sports fan first and foremost. I want to watch that game, have a good time. I'd like to hear her opinion on that, but it's not going to change mine. I encourage those who are well known to encourage others to vote, not necessarily to give their opinion on who they think is the right candidate, but just say, you know what, get out there, educate yourself, make sure you're registered, and make sure you vote, because that's how we're going to all make a difference in this world.
Adam James, I'm going to thank you once again for coming on live from the Heartland. And it's always good to see your face early in the morning like this. And I know you had to get up earlier than me, and I will talk to you soon.
Fantastic. Thank you again for having me on the show. Have a great day, everybody.
Right on. And you keep working on your film. Tell us the name of your film in the works and how people get it.
Oh, yes. The program is called Doc Savage, Man of Copper. We're going to be releasing it coming up in just a few months, but don't have the announcement yet on the exact platform, but that'll be coming very soon. Please check out our website for up-to-date information, docsavage.com, but that's Doc with a K and Savage with a U. So it's DOKSAUVAGE, docsavage.com.
Okay there, Man of Copper. I'll see you.
Thanks again.
Everybody else, we want to